Hi, folks. We're going to get started with our program here this afternoon. Please feel free to get drinks or wander around during this. It's not going to be lengthy, but we do have a lot of things we want to cover. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here again. This is a big weekend for us. It's a big weekend for you. But we've got people here that have been working for a long time to bring this all together. And so we certainly appreciate that you've made the effort to come out here and share this weekend with us. One of the things that we do here with volunteers is we recognize their service as volunteers. And I don't know if everybody can hear you, but if you're a volunteer, would you please raise your hand and wave? A bunch of them are in the back. We have just over 100 volunteers here. That doesn't mean they're here every week doing things every week, but there's a lot of people that it takes to keep this organization going and serve the community, because that's our primary goal here, is to serve the community of Fort Worth. And if we do the good job of doing that, then the OV-10 Bronco Association will survive for a long, long time. We've had some people that have been with us for a number of years, and I want to provide them with their service pins here today before we dedicate the airplane. Tony, are you here? Tony DeBuren? Terry? I think Tony's here someplace. I thought I saw him. Tony, if you'd come up, and Terry Tabor, if you'd come up. Where's Tony? I know they're here. I'll get to him later, I guess. What I've got for Terry and Tony is 15-year pins. And so, Terry, thank you. We've known Tony for a long time. Terry is one of the people who joined us right after the group was founded, almost, and he's been a big part of what took place, especially moving here to this location from the other museum. So I'll get this one to Tony later. Let's see, Debbie Harrell. Are you here, Debbie? Okay, she was here, so we'll get her pinned. Debbie is our secretary, and she's been our secretary and working with the organization for at least 10 years, so we've got a 10-year pin for her. Edith, where's Tony? Okay. Oh, he's behind the Bronco. Okay, well, we'll get him when he comes out from behind the Bronco. Wes Cloud, are you here today? Wes is the gentleman who does most of the detail painting on the airplane. So if you see names and numbers and squadron insignias and things like that, that's what Wes does here for us. Besides being a docent, besides working for the city and helping us with things like getting permits for the glowworm and lots of other things. Rich Garrett, is Rich here? Okay, we'll take care of those people a little bit later. What I want to talk about a little bit before we talk about the airplane specifically, and I did a little bit of this the other night, is talked about what took place to bring the airplane to the point that it is now and how it looks today. And we have considered that conservatively, it's over 1,000 hours of man-hours work on this airplane. And most of that has taken place since February until now. One of the things that we do is a normal course of events when we finish up an airplane, and this one isn't quite finished. You'll notice that the interior's got some work to do, but we have somebody here that knows how to do interiors of airplanes really well. But we like to recognize people with what we refer to as a Golden Wrench Award. It's a small token. It's a small token. It's just a small golden wrench. So if you'll notice some of the volunteers here, they have numerous of these on their hats, and they get one of these for each one of the airplanes that they were involved in. So I'm going to ask some of these people to come up here now and give, so that they can get their golden wrenches, and so that you can show them some appreciation for the work they've done. This is in no particular order. So if I can have Vince Sapro, Johnny Williams, Kevin Nelson, Joe Wayne, Mike Amtower, Jack Thompson, Jim Wittenberg, Barry Pepper, Jim Bloomberg, Steve Bloomberg, Mark Robin, Jake Buck, Tom Scutza, Jacob Scutza, Chip Bulkley, and Steve Jacobson. Any of those of you who are here. These are the folks who spent many hours of wax on, wax off, as I told you the other night, stripping this airplane down and preparing it so that it could be painted and look like it does today. Many, many hours of work, and they have all certainly earned at least this little golden wrench.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good job, brother.
Hey, Vince, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, go ahead and do that now if you like.
Where's all those Marine VMO guys? Vince, where'd you go? Get up here. So we always talk about a Marine's Marine, right? Walks the walk, looks like all that, carries all that. Well, Vince was none of those.
Exactly right. What kind of birds don't fly?
But Vince was an awesome Marine to us and took care of all of us, trained a lot of us, positive impact in a lot of our lives, how to be a Marine on debt.
On deck.
But anyway, here's a small token of my appreciation to everything you've done for us. It's OV-10 blade. Vince and I, a few other people, actually served in all 3 of the VMO squadrons for our era that you could serve in. So pretty nice.
Thank you,
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for everything, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have a couple of other recognitions that we want to make regarding this airplane, partly so we don't stretch out tonight too long at the awards dinner. But again, there are some folks that worked on this airplane and helped us out that it was very instrumental above and beyond just the work that they put into it. One is Steve Bloomberg. Steve, where are you? Steve is our painting expert. He's the one that I told you it took months and months and months to strip the airplane, and then magic happened. And Steve is the person who helped that magic to happen, and we want him to have this. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
A lot. No, thank you. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Okay. All right, good, thanks. And also the awards that we normally do at Bronco Fest, one of them is what we call the Board of Directors Award. And it's a recognition from the members of the Board of Directors who feel that certain people should be recognized for the things that they've done. And so we've got 2 people that the Board of Directors would like to recognize this year. And the first one is Joe Wayne, and the other one is Vince Sapiro. It's a Board of Directors Award for leadership in preparing and restoring the Air Force OV-10 Bronco. And so if I could have Joe Wayne and Vince come up here, please. I can tell you that Vince has also been very instrumental with the Marine OV-10 with 426. These guys are both Marines and have worked tirelessly on this airplane. And I would get constant little texts from Joe Wayne at the end of the day with little pictures about what has taken place on the airplane and what was going on and his worries and concerns when he had to leave to Missouri. And it's all worked out just fine.
It did work out just fine.
So, Joe?
Thanks. This means a lot.
No,
Thank you very much.
That's huge.
Vince?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Don't go away.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay here. Stay here.
Oh, you can stay here.
I'm guessing.
A little bit.
I don't want it.
Okay, now this is one last award, and then we're going to talk about the airplane, and then you can have lunch. This organization was formed about 18 years ago, in the fall of 1997. There were a group of people who sat together in one gentleman's living room with a box of photographs and a case of beer, and wives who'd said, "Get this stuff out of our house." And so we, out of that, built the OV-10 Bronco Association. Some of the people who were originally involved were people like Mike Whaley. Mike had had been instrumental in putting together an OV-10 Bronco website, and so he was considered to be one of the founders of the organization. Jack Ballard. Jack, you're here? Where's Jack? Is he in the back there someplace? Jack's right there at the picnic table. Jack is one of the founders of the organization, along with, and we're glad to have Jack here. He hasn't been able to make any of the Bronco Fest before, but so he's here with us today, and it's great. He was at the first one, so he was at number one. And so then the other people who were considered founders were Mike Richardson and Tom Scutza and Jim Graham and Chuck Buren and Ron Fix. And myself. I think that's all of them, right, at the time. At the time, I'd asked about another individual who had also made some sacrifices for the organization to be part of it. And for one reason or another, I'm righting a wrong here today. And I want to introduce Vince Sapiro, founder of the OV-10 Bronco Association.
Oh, thank you, man.
Well deserved.
Thank you, Jay.
No, thank you.
Can I go now?
Yeah, now you can leave. In fact, I don't want to see you again. Okay. Now we're going to get to the airplane. Not going to make this long, but I would like all of you to have an appreciation for this airplane and what it means to everybody here today. We started out, this airplane was crated up to Vietnam on May of 1969. It was in some of the first batches of the airplane that were built and sent to Vietnam for the Air Force. I've got a long list of people who have flown this airplane, and many of them are members of this organization, and some of them are here today. But this airplane has operated for a long time. In the Air Force, it operated from 1969 up until, let's see, what have I got here? Up until 1989 at least, and then into where it went to Boise and became part of the Bureau of Land Management in 1989. At the end of 1989 and 99, it went to Sacramento and became part of the California Department of Forestry, and then it was transferred to us in 2005. And I know I've talked about some of this story before, but what we haven't talked about is that this airplane is a veteran of Vietnam, and it's a veteran of the Cold War. This airplane has seen combat under names like Nail, Covey, Rustic, Spike. It was a Jake. At one point in time, it's operated on missions on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, Steel Tiger, Cambodia, Saga missions, SAR missions, and Spike missions. It operated out of places like NKP, Tak Lee, Phnom Penh, Ubon, Karat, Shandie, Sembach, Osan, Tucson, Sumter, Saragossa, Mugai Pass, and many other places. It's operated with the 23rd TAS, with the Rustics, the 20th TAS, the 704th TAS, and the 19th TAS. This is a well-traveled airplane. It has been around the world and back, and it has been a war horse that has taken many of you into battle and brought you back safely. And we now have it here. We now have it restored into a very presentable position. And where's Angela? We'd like to have Angela and Joe and Mike. Angela's right here. We've got, Vince, if I can have you and Joe come up to help unveil here. Do a little unveiling for us. So we were lucky to get the airplane in 2005, and we feel very fortunate to have redone the airplane now and have it ready for you all today. And if you two gentlemen would take Angela back here and go ahead and pull the paper off of the airplane for her. I'm sure everybody knows, but Angela Bennett is the daughter of Captain Stephen Bennett, Medal of Honor recipient.
Yeah, we need a hub. You could probably make one out of wood. I don't know how much.
Yeah, exactly.
We got two wooden props that were on.